up, fam? Mainman Mademan here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. El Maravilla comes back. Sergio Martinez comes back at 45 years old, getting the stoppage over Jose Fandino. Getting the stoppage tonight. My man is back, man. He said he was going to do it, and daggett, he did it. You know what I mean? My boy comes back, gets his first fight back tonight in years. Fought over there in Terra La Vega, Spain, in Melicon Stadium. They put a whole event together over there, man. And my man Sergio made his return. And then comes back after being out for years and stopping this dude, yo. I'm like, it's good to see, man. I'm glad to see my man is back, man. He made it through this fight injury-free. The knee held up for anybody who's wondering. Yeah, the knee held up. Showed a lot of signs of ring rust, as we expect at 45 years old, coming off that knee situation he was dealing with. So we expected to see some little signs of ring rust, man. And I didn't think he was going to do it. But in this age where all of the older fighters felt like they can come back, we see Tyson, we see De La Hoya, we see Juan Manuel Marquez in the gym. You know what I mean? So, hey, why not my man right here, Sergio Martinez? He's 45. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. And he back, man. He back. So let's talk about this. I can't believe I'm talking about this, but let's talk about this, man. Well, Sergio Martinez, we already know. I remember I was covering this not too long ago. He wanted to come back against Julio Chavez Jr. originally, but for whatever reason that thing broke down and they couldn't get it off the ground. So Sergio went back in the gym, got back chiseled, came back out. His condition looked pretty good tonight. As far as his body looked pretty good. You don't see really too much signs of age. You know what I mean? His muscle tone is still there. Most importantly, his reflexes still look good through the first 4 or 5 rounds. His mobility, that's the golden question. His mobility, not nearly as good as it used to be, but did not get out of this fight with no injuries. The knee didn't buckle. The knee looks a little bit stiff, doesn't look nearly as flexible as it used to be. You know, the style that he likes to fight in, he needs mobility. He's known for his mobility. If he doesn't have his mobility, he ain't El Maravilla. You know what I mean? Now, it was good, real reminiscent, real good to see him come back in that same, fighting rhythm that he likes to fight on the outside. Sometimes he like to drop his hands. Typical Sergio Martinez. Now, this dude, Jose Fandino, in here tonight, didn't put up much resistance to Sergio Martinez in the first 4 to 5 rounds. I will admit that. In the first 4 to 5 rounds, it was Sergio Martinez pretty much playing Stalker on this guy, while this guy was pretty much hands up in a tight position. Now, from what I understand from this dude's record, he doesn't have that much power. He only got 8 knockouts, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he wasn't giving Sergio Martinez not too many reasons not to be honest in the early part of the fight. So Sergio was kind of stalking him, but yet staying on the outside, keeping that distance like he likes to do, kind of bouncing around, using his normal rhythm on the outside. He was catching and shooting. His reflexes, he was getting up under the jab. He was countering very well. Power, he hurt this kid numerous times throughout the first early rounds. And that sometimes I even thought that Sergio might was taking his foot off the gas. I wasn't sure. And, but he hurt the kid several times in the round. And this kid is 10 years younger than him. So I was wondering how was Sergio Martinez's gas tank kind of hold up to this dude. Now, this dude Fandino, he weathered a lot of Sergio's storms early on. But in about the 5th round, he started to let his hands go more. And I started to notice he was connecting a lot more on my man Sergio in the 5th and the 6th, about the 5th, 6th, and the 7th round. It's like he started to get some heart, you know what I'm saying? And not to mention, Sergio started to slow down a little bit in the 5th round. But you got to understand, Sergio was dancing around him, just kind of stalking him and dancing around him. Those 4 or 5 rounds and just letting his hands fly, connecting with a lot of punches. Some was off, a lot of them was on the button, you know what I mean? Hurting this kid several times. So he put a lot of workload on in those first 5 rounds, you know what I mean? So about the 5th round, he started to slow down a little bit. The mobility wasn't nearly as good no more. And this kid Fandino got a little hot and started to let his hands go. Well, come about the 6th round, Sergio kind of weathered a lot of Fandino's rallies, you know what I mean? And what does Sergio do? Have his own rally. Get this kid up in the corner, hit him with a 20-piece combination. He was like E Honda up in that joint. He was like pop, 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 pop. You know what I'm saying? Had him in the corner, hitting him with all them punches, and the kid went down. So he dropped him in the 6th. And then when they came out in the 7th round, Sergio was a lot more tired. I guess after expending all of those E Honda punches, you know what I'm saying? A lot more tired in the 7th round. And came out and kind of fought the guy in close quarters in the 7th round. So they was pretty much shoulder head to head, laying on each other's shoulders, just trading blows in the 7th round. And Sergio Martinez, I can't say he was hurt. It just looked like he was just kind of just grabbing his win. He wasn't like out the fight or nothing like that. It's just like he was just kind of just taking some time off, but willing to close quarters with this guy and got him in the fight. So they just going blow for blow. But what do Sergio do? He get the best of the exchanges, get this kid to the middle of the ring, hits him with the right jab and a straight left hand right to the gut, put this kid on his knees, and that was the end of the fight. 7th round stoppage by my man El Maravilla, man. Y'all don't get it, bro. I'm a huge fan of Sergio Martinez, man. That is one of the fighters that quiet is kept when he was down at 154 pounds and Floyd was making his run from, going all the way up to 54 for Cotto's. He wouldn't dare entertain a Sergio Martinez. And I always said that Miguel Cotto, he won that championship by beating Sergio Martinez. But at the end of the day, he did not fight the real Sergio. You know what I mean? That knee was totally gone in that Miguel Cotto fight by that point. I mean, after he beat Julio Chavez Jr., I thought he gave his all. Everything he had left, he left in that ring that night with Julio Chavez Jr. That knee was never the same after that. And Cotto, well, yeah, but I think if that was a healthy Sergio Martinez, no way. I think he beats Miguel Cotto, and that's just my opinion. So what's up? What's next for Sergio, man? Well, first off, my opinion, my synopsis, I don't want Sergio in there with a killer yet. This kid didn't provide too much resistance early on. And when I seen him release his hands, he did start to connect on Sergio. Now, Sergio looked well when he was, doing his typical thing on the outside. Using that effective aggression, still stand on the outside, like Vasil Lomachenko likes to do. Still stand on the outside, but stand right there on top of you. You know what I'm saying? Boxing in that safe distance that he likes to move around in. But like I say, by the 7th round, he kind of abandoned that, made it a close quarters fight. If anyone is pushing him hard early, will his mobility leave earlier instead of, will it take 7 rounds? Will it take 4 rounds instead of 7 with someone that's constantly coming at him? Because this kid put nothing on Sergio in those early rounds. If you got a Julio Chavez Jr. in there, Julio can go straight at him. He gonna think he can take advantage of his knee, and he gonna just try to put the most pressure ever on Sergio Martinez. Am I 100% that Sergio can deal with that especially in a 12-round fight? I got my doubts. I'm going to say that. I didn't see enough tonight to think that I feel confident enough that he'll be able to take that kind of pressure, in my opinion. I want to see him in there with 1, maybe 2 more tune-ups before he thinks about getting in there with anyone super serious. I mean, I know time is of the essence with Sergio, and you don't want to put too much probably wear and tear on him because he's 45 years old. I get all that, but right now, he needs to get in just a bit more better fighting shape, I think. This kid didn't push him enough. He was breathing kind of hard, given that he was giving off so much work rate early on, but I'm just not all the way convinced. I'm glad he made the statement he made tonight, and he looked good doing it. But this kid Fandino ain't really much to talk about. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, hold on. I got this kid's record right here because I don't know much about Jose. Jose Fandino is 15-6 with 8 knockouts. So this kid not only wasn't putting much on Sergio earlier on, but he also doesn't have the power, even when he was connected with Sergio, to really do a lot of major damage. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, he got 6 losses, never been in there with anything world class. So, this wasn't the actual, this was just get your timing back, see what you can do, go a few rounds, see what it feel like to be back in that ring type thing for Sergio. I mean, I don't know how far he's willing to take this, but listening to how he's talking, he looking to go all the way up to the top, because they got Sergio Martinez on the IG Live with WBA President Gilberto Mendoza. And what he told Gilberto Mendoza was, and I quote, "I can't fight unless I see beyond this fight." He says, "I need to project and set goals because those goals are what make me feel alive. I need to set several targets. And at the end of the road, Ryota Murata, even beyond Murata, keep setting targets. He, Fandino, has a strong right and I have to respect him. I will get into the ring as if I were fighting Kelly Pavlik, Miguel Cotto, or Julio Chavez Jr. As long as I can go up like that, I won't do bad," end quote. And this was on a IG Live with WBA President Gilberto Mendoza. And so if Gilberto Mendoza was watching tonight and maybe he liked what he see, I'm sure he ain't gonna have too much opposing from what he's seeing tonight as to maybe getting Sergio back into some sort of contention. But I think that takes some time, man. Sergio, keep taking these little baby steps right now, man. Get your timing back, get your rhythm back, get back into true fighting shape. You know what I mean? See how long that knee's really gonna hold out. Get in there with someone that's gonna push you a little more before you think about jumping up there with Ryota Murata. You know what I mean? And I know he want to get back to Julio Chavez Jr. just because of the namesake, and it's a big fight. You know, there'll be a rematch, and we all know what Julio Chavez Jr. did to him in the 12th round of their fight where he knocked Sergio down. And who knows, man, this would be a continuation of that. But and I'm sure Julio Chavez Jr. is watching this and seeing Sergio tonight and maybe seeing some things he can maybe take advantage of. I wouldn't be surprised to see Julio Chavez come out earlier and say he was trying to make this fight with Sergio and try to get him before he really gets back into full rhythm, if Sergio takes it that far, you know. So we'll see what happens when he steps it up, if he steps it up in class. We'll see what happens in this next fight if he continues to go down this path. But he comes back tonight at 45 years old, fam. El Maravilla, one of my favorite fighters. I'm gonna be rooting for him, Joe. I really am, man. If he comes back and goes all the way up to Murata and get that WBA strap slim, hey, man, this gonna be something to talk about, Joe. I mean, how y'all think he'll fare off, though, at 160? Let's just keep it 100. I mean, and I know, like I said, if he got back into being Sergio and looking at his reflexes tonight, I got the questions about mobility, and I do got some questions on power, but that straight left, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't question the power, but I don't know, man. I mean, right now at 160, he'll of course stay away from anybody named Charlo. I don't know. Hey, stay away from me. I don't want to even put Sergio in those conversations right now, man. Just not going to do it. I don't even want to gin that up right now, but I'm just happy to see him back. I'm happy to see him get the win column, leave injury free, and happy after the fight to continue on to fight some more, man. So we'll see what happened with my main man, Sergio Martinez, man, all day. Thumbs up for the fam. Salute to everybody in Mainman Mademan's boxing forum on Facebook, man. Man, I was turned up to see my man in there tonight. I know he wasn't fighting nobody special, man, but I was just glad to see my man El Maravilla, man. I'm a big fan, and I'm glad to see him get back into the W column all day. To the next one, man. Peace out.